Gospel Bytes.
Welcome to 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 Gospel Bytes.
Good morning and welcome to Gospel Bytes, where we take a bite at the Gospel for the day. Good morning and welcome to Gospel Bytes, where we take a bite at the Gospel for the day. Today is Sunday, February 1st. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Glory to you, O Lord. This is taken from Matthew chapter 5, verses 1 to 12. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up the mountain, and after he sat down, his disciples came to him. Then he began to speak and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. All right, so we hear about the Beattitudes. The Beatitude is a state of happiness. You cannot be any happier than that. It's the highest state of happiness. You are so blessed. You are fortunate. Now, in the Old Testament, at the center or at the heart of the teachings of the Old Testament was the Ten Commandments. It was a way to be happy. If you follow the commandments, you will be safe. You will find joy or happiness in your life. If you do not, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. Those were the teachings in the time of Moses. In the New Testament, at the heart of the teaching of Christ was the Beatitudes. Blessed are the poor, blessed are the meek. And after each Beatitude is a reward. Blessed are you, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. It shows the consequence or what is the reward or what is the happiness that comes with the Beatitude. So you see here two different approaches. The first approach in the Ten Commandments was more of commands. That's why they're called commandments. It's like when Israel was such a child, they were just starting their walk of faith. So when you talk to a child, you talk in a way of commands. Don't eat this, go to bed, don't say bad words. So in the same way, Israel, who were in their early stage of faith, God gave them commandments to keep them safe, to keep them happy. And he did not have to explain any of those things because they just need to trust in God. And they lived through that. They just lived by the commandments. As long as they follow the commandments, they were safe. But in the New Testament, it's almost like the Israelites have grown in their faith. And just like it says, if you're talking to a teenager, you cannot just command a teenager to do something. You cannot say, well, go home by 9 o'clock. And they would ask you why. cannot say because I said so. It has to make sense. There has to be a reason why you give them a commandment. Also, in the New Testament, it's no longer in the form of command, but it's more of it's not so much to do, but to become. You know? Blessed are the poor in spirit. You have to be poor. Why? Theirs is the kingdom of heaven. You have to be poor if you want to belong to the kingdom of heaven. So there is that consequence of becoming. It's like you have to become somebody in order to receive this reward. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. Why? Because they will be filled. So it's like talking to a teenager now. It's no longer just a command and that's it. No. As we grow in our faith, we would like to know more about it. We would like to know why we do such things, because otherwise we will always have this question in our minds, and if we don't get the answers eventually, just like the others, they would leave the faith, because they kept following the commandments, going to mass every Sunday. And then as they grew older, when they asked their parents, why do we do this? And the parents said, well, no, we do this because we've been doing this since we were young. It doesn't satisfy them. So now with the style of Jesus, it's more like you have to become. It's not enough that you do, because you have to change your character. It's like a person who tells the truth is not necessarily honest. Well, when you say don't lie, maybe a person would tell the truth because he has no other choice. He's caught. But truly honest, to become a truly honest person is different, because when you're honest, whether or not you're being forced, you're going to say the truth. And this is what Jesus is saying. You have to become. And if you look at the Beattitudes, they all describe Christ. Christ was poor in spirit. He mourned over the sad state of the world. He wept. He was meek and humble. He was hungry and thirsting for righteousness. In other words, the Beatitude is not just in order to become like God. It's not just to do, but to become like Christ. That is the purpose of the Beatitudes. That's the purpose of the commandments, but it wasn't clearly stated there. Now that we have Christ here, you have to become like Him. You have to become meek. You have to become merciful. You have to be a peacemaker. You have to become. And that is what our faith is about. To become more like Christ. It's not just to obey the commandments, but to become more like Christ. And this is true happiness. In Bishop Barron's Catholicism, he mentioned about this painting of Jesus crucified with all the agony and all the pain. And he said, to us, when you look at that image of Jesus, he's one who suffered. He's one who really endured pain. But in the eyes of God, he is the portrait of a happy man, because he was the Beatitude. And all of these things that Jesus said, that was what he was. And if you want to be truly happy, you become like Christ. Nobody wants people who are proud. Nobody wants people who are wealthy. They don't need anybody. Nobody wants a merciless man. So if you really want to be happy, here's the secret. Don't look any further. Jesus has revealed the secret to true happiness. I pray that you and I will find true happiness and become more and more like Christ each day. I'm Father Jerry Sembrano for another edition of Gospel Bytes. God bless you. Have a nice day.
Welcome to Gospel Bytes. Welcome to Gospel Bytes. Welcome to Gospel Bytes. Gospel Bytes.
Welcome to the Gospel Bytes.
Welcome to